20 meters, 66 feet. That is the number most often attached to the giant squid, and it is the one number the scientific record refuses to confirm. Claims of specimens measuring 20 meters or more have not been scientifically documented. Which leaves a strange situation. The most famous measurement of one of the largest animals without a backbone on this planet is not a measurement at all. It is a claim. That gap is the subject here. Not whether the giant squid exists, which is settled, but why its size stayed unsettled for so long. The answer, based on the verified description, has less to do with the darkness the animal lives in than with something more ordinary and more stubborn. The question of where you start the tape measure and where you stop. Begin with what is documented. The giant squid is a species of deep ocean dwelling squid in the family Architeuthidae. Deep ocean. That is the depth information the verified description gives, and it is worth being honest about how little that phrase constrains. It does not specify a range in meters. It does not give a pressure, a temperature, or a sampling depth for any particular animal. If you want a precise number for where this squid lives, the confirmed record does not hand you one. So the descent here is not measured in meters of water. It is measured in what the instrument of observation could actually reach. And for most of the time this animal has been known, the instrument was a body. Something recovered, something landed, something laid out and stretched. The giant squid is described as an example of abyssal gigantism, the pattern of unusually large body size among deep ocean animals. Notice what that term does and does not do. It names a pattern. It does not, in the verified description, supply a mechanism. Why deep ocean animals should reach these sizes is a separate scientific question, and the record used here does not answer it. The giant squid is offered as an example of the pattern, not as an explanation of it. The giant squid does not have one length, it has several, and they all come from the same animal. Recent estimates put the maximum body size at around 5 meters, or 16 feet, for females, with males slightly shorter, measured from the posterior fins to the tip of the long arms. The mantle alone, the main muscular body, is about 2 meters. And then there are the feeding tentacles, which in life are concealed and which reach 10 meters, or 33 feet. 2 meters of body, 5 meters from fins to arm tips, 10 meters of tentacle that the living animal keeps tucked away. Those are not competing claims. They are 3 different questions about the same creature, and each one produces a different number. A body plan built mostly from arms and tentacles has no fixed total length because the longest parts are also the most extensible and the most easily damaged. That single anatomical fact is enough to keep a species' recorded size in dispute for generations. You can watch that ambiguity spread across the sources themselves. One verified description puts maximum body size at around 5 meters from posterior fins to arm tips. Another states that the giant squid can exceed 10 meters or 33 feet in length. Both statements can be accurate at the same time because they are not measuring the same thing. The first excludes the feeding tentacles. The second appears to include them. This is not a contradiction in nature. It is a contradiction in convention, and it means that any comparison of squid sizes has to specify its measurement basis before the numbers mean anything at all. 2 different animals have shared the name giant squid, and that collision did real damage to the record. The colossal squid, Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni, belongs to a completely different family, Crantchidae, the cockatoo squids, or glass squids. It is the only recognized member of its genus. It is sometimes called the Antarctic cranch squid, and it is sometimes called the giant squid. It is also believed to be the largest squid species in terms of mass, and the numbers do not line up the way the names suggest. The giant squid is longer, at an estimated 5 meters against the colossal squid's 4.2 meters, or 14 feet. But it is substantially lighter because it is less robust and its arms account for much of its length. The colossal squid can weigh almost 500 kilograms, roughly 100 pounds or more. So the longer animal is not the heavier animal. Two species sometimes carry the same common name, and the word largest changes owner depending on whether you are weighing or measuring. Hold both facts together and the historical confusion stops looking like superstition. It looks like a data problem, a single common name pointing at two species in two families. A body whose total length depends on which appendages you count and how far they have stretched. Mass and length ranking the animals in opposite directions. None of that requires darkness, or myth, or anything unexplained. It only requires inconsistent measurement, repeated over a long time. Now the limits, stated plainly. The figures for the giant squid's maximum body size are described as estimates, not as a catalogue of individually confirmed record specimens. The 20-metre claims sit outside the documented record entirely. The verified description does not tell us the depth at which any particular animal was observed, does not describe the instruments used, and does not identify which expeditions produced which measurements. That absence is a real constraint on how strong any claim in this episode can be. And it is why the strongest available statement about giant squid size is a range with a stated method, not a single trophy number. Rank the explanations for the long uncertainty by how well the evidence supports them. Best supported is measurement convention. The documented numbers differ because the described body parts differ from a 2-metre mantle to 5 meters of fins to arm tips to 10-metre feeding tentacles concealed in life. That is directly stated. Second is nomenclature. The shared common name between two species in separate families is also directly stated, and it makes historical size claims hard to attribute. Third and weaker is habitat. The animal is described as deep ocean dwelling, which plausibly limited observation. But the record supplied here gives no depths, no instrument specifications, and no survey coverage to quantify that limit. And unsupported at the bottom are the 20-metre specimens. They are claims without documentation, and they should be labelled that way every time they appear. Set against a wider frame, the difficulty makes even more sense. Cephalopods range in mass more than 3 billion-fold, across 9 orders of magnitude, from hatchlings under a gram and about a centimetre long to adults that are the largest living invertebrates on Earth. A group that spans 9 orders of magnitude in mass will not surrender a tidy maximum. Certain cephalopod species are also noted for individual body parts of exceptional size, which is exactly the condition under which whole animal length becomes a soft number. So the best current explanation is this. The giant squid stayed a mystery for so long not because the evidence was missing, but because the evidence was ambiguous in a specific, traceable way. An extensible body, an inconsistent measurement basis, and a shared common name produced decades of figures that could not be reconciled, while the largest and most quotable numbers were never documented in the first place. The unresolved question is narrow, and I want to state it precisely rather than dress it up. What is the maximum size of a living giant squid reported on a single consistent measurement basis from a specimen with documented provenance? Until that basis is fixed, the ranking of the largest squid stays split. The giant squid holds length, the colossal squid is believed to hold mass, and neither claim can be collapsed into one word. There is something clarifying in that. The ocean's limits on observation are usually described as darkness and depth. Here, the limiting instrument was the ruler, and the harder problem was agreeing on what to measure. An animal can be caught, landed, and laid out in the light, and still keep its size uncertain. simply because the shape of its body will not hold still long enough to be counted the same way twice.